Welcome to the images. This is where your script becomes visuals. You'll learn to generate consistent characters and scenes. Choose the right aspect ratio, 9:16 mobile, 16:9 video, and direct the look with pro camera shots like POV, OTS, low angle, and more. You'll also learn to improve images by reprompting. Keep the AI on track by pasting scene, character action, and camera shots prompts. You'll learn how to edit only part of an image, use reference images to lock the style, and create freeze frames for key moments. And we'll show you how to handle safety filters without getting blocked. Let's generate.
Quick heads up, we're using ChatGPT to make our images, but ChatGPT doesn't guess what you want. You tell it. The instructions you type are called prompts. Better prompts equals better images. Let's go.
Reality Cafe. Establishing scene.
I have a new ChatGPT window, and now I want to upload the script. To do that, I click on the plus sign. We are now going to ask ChatGPT to acquaint itself with the script. Now, if we were still working with the old window where we wrote the script, we would simply have said, let's start generating images. The other thing we must do is define Riley's heritage. If we don't, ChatGPT will default to a Western European woman. For us, Riley is of Ethiopian heritage. ChatGPT has given us a summary of the script. Now it's asking to create the establishing shot, to which we say yes. It's created this static wide shot of Riley and Alex. Now they both sit in silence, framed by a sunlit window. We are happy with this. So let's continue with the next image generation. We're going to do a close-up on Alex's shaking hands on the cup. And voila! Alex's hands on the cup. Now let's click on the establishing shot again to create the next prompt. Notice we didn't use Alex's hands but the establishing shot to create the next prompt. More on that later. Here we have an over-the-shoulder shot from Riley's perspective. And it all looks pretty consistent. Now back to the establishing shot to create the next camera shot. This time over the shoulder from Alex's perspective. Now we're looking at Riley from Alex's perspective. We can see Alex's profile, his back, and Riley's face. And the characters are still pretty consistent. Now back to the establishing shot to create the next image. A close-up shot of Alex's face. The image has been generated in a different aspect ratio. What's an aspect ratio? The shape of your frame. It tends to be width by height. Now this is a 9:16 aspect ratio. What we want is a 16:9 aspect ratio. The same shape as the other images. So let's click on this wrong image and ask ChatGPT to change it. Great, it's back to the right shape, 16:9. Now on to the next prompt. Notice this time, I'm not going to the establishing shot to start. I'm actually using this close-up shot of Alex. And that's because I want to test ChatGPT and see if it still understands the context. Notice I changed the term perspective to point of view. Why? POV is a clearer camera directive that AI models understand. ChatGPT is clearly tracking the context. So let's try that again with another image. Not bad at all. Now let's generate the last image for this scene. As you can see, the model is tracking context. Characters stay consistent, and our establishing shot has anchored and prevented drift.
Rewrite 1. Galaxy Sci-Fi.
So we're going to pick up from where we left off and see if ChatGPT is tracking. We're going to simply say, let's create Rewrite 1 Star Wars and see what it does. Uh-oh, I have an idea. ChatGPT is on break. Also, let's get ChatGPT back on track. I'm going to tell it simply, I don't think you understand what we're doing here, and see what it says. Okay, so it's corrected itself and now is asking if I should allow it to generate the establishing shot. And I say yes. So it's gone ahead and generated this image, which looks like a painting. So I'm now asking it to make it look more realistic. But in addition to that, I want Riley. Riley doesn't look like Riley there. I want Riley to look like Riley. And let's include some soldiers behind her. And also, we need Riley looking down on Alex menacingly. Let's do that. Now, this is the wide shot of Riley with the ship behind her and Alex kneeling in the foreground. And we can see the soldiers. Now, let's go on to the next shot, which is a low angle of Alex. And here we have it, the image of Alex, with dust swelling around his downward face. I like the detail in this. So let's go on to generate the next image. Back to the establishing shot, copy and paste the prompt. The prompt asks for an over-the-shoulder from Riley's point of view, towering over Alex, and ChatGPT has generated that image. Now copy and paste the next prompt, the medium push-in. Now, a push-in is technically more of a video prompt or shot, not a camera image shot, but we'll be using it here. It's similar to a close-up shot. Now to the last image for this scene, a wide shot of Alex being held up by soldiers. As you can see, ChatGPT has kept the characters and scenes consistent and is tracking the script really well.
Rewrite 2. 3D animation.
As we did before, we're going to say, let's create Rewrite 2, Pixar style. Now we're going to copy and paste the whole prompt for that scene. ChatGPT has gone ahead and fleshed out each shot's prompt. We're going to be testing a few of these prompts to generate images. For now, let's generate the first image, the tilt-up establishing shot. This does not look like our Riley. So we need to let ChatGPT know that this isn't Riley. So you can go ahead and generate for us Riley. So here, ChatGPT is reminding itself of Riley's features and is asking if it could give it another go. And I say, yes, try again. Okay, now that looks like Riley. So we're going to try out the detailed shots ChatGPT recommended. Would simply copy and paste. The shot is a close-up of Alex, and I'm happy with it. Now let's go back and copy shot 3. Would copy that and go to the prompt window and say create and paste this in. Don't forget to click on the establishing shot. Now, this does not look like Riley. The color of her suit is different. So let's try again. So we're going to go back to the establishing shot and simplify the prompt. So we'll say wide shot, toys in the background, pause to watch. This still does not look like Riley. So let's do something different. Here's a tip. If the shot isn't landing, switch the shot. Try something different. Let's try a different shot. Let's try close-up shot of Riley. Make sure you keep Riley's features consistent. Now we're back because that looks like Riley. The color is consistent. Her expression is consistent. It's consistent with the establishing shot. So we move on. Let's generate the next image. An over-the-shoulder shot from Riley's point of view of Alex's hands on his head, looking desperately sad. I'm quite happy with this image. So let's go on and generate the last image of this scene. Alex squeezes his eyes shut. And there you have it, the last image. Excellent.
Rewrite 3. Shown in anime.
Let's create Rewrite 3, Shonen Anime Warrior. You copy and paste the prompt. So it's generated this image, our establishing shot. But as you can see, there are these strange people in the background. Now let's get rid of them. We're going to learn how to edit images in ChatGPT. To edit images, first make sure you have clicked on the image like we have here. Then go over to where the arrow is, that's the edit button, and select the sections you want to edit out. For us, it's this strange little people. Next, tell ChatGPT what you want to do with the selection. For us, remove the people. Now they're gone. But Riley looks stunted. So let's fix that because here she looks taller. So we need her to be the right size, the right height. So let's try doing it again. Let's try editing again from the establishing shot and see if it would generate a better image. So remove little people. It's generated a new image, which is a bit better than the last one. I think I'm happy with it. We'll go with it. Now let's generate the next shot. A close-up on Alex as he looks at Riley with pain-stricken eyes. That looks pretty okay. And as you notice, the characters are quite consistent. Now let's generate the next image. This time a close-up of Riley. Again, Riley's looking pretty consistent. So let's move on to the next image generation. An over-the-shoulder shot from Riley's POV, point of view. Notice the scale error? Alex is kneeling but appears as tall as Riley standing. Let's fix that. So I asked ChatGPT to generate a prompt to fix the scaling issue, and it generated this prompt, a high-angle shot that fixes the issue. Riley looks like she's looking down at Alex. Now let's generate our next image. You can copy and paste this from your script. Not bad at all, and pretty consistent. So let's go on and generate the last image. And here's the prompt we use to generate the last image.
Rewrite 4, Retro Anime.
Let's create Rewrite 4, Retro Anime. So we've copied and pasted as usual, and ChatGPT has come back with this more detailed shot plan. And we went ahead to say, yes, create the establishing shot. And it generated this image, which we did not like. So we gave it a reference image. Now, we use a reference image to lock in the style, palette, and lighting. Basically, the look and the mood that we are after, so that every shot feels like the same world. So what you do is you upload the exact image you want and prompt ChatGPT to match that style, the palette, the lighting, the brushwork. You could also instruct ChatGPT not to copy identities. In our case, we simply said we did not like the previous image and instructed ChatGPT to make the next image match the reference image. And it did. So now let's create the next image, a close-up on Alex's fists. Not bad, but we think both fists will look better. So we're going to prompt ChatGPT to create both fists, a close-up on Alex's fists. Okay, not bad. So to the next image, let's go to the OTS shot from Riley's POV. Cool. No drift so far. Let's move to the next frame. OTS from Alex's POV. So I'm going to keep quiet now as we keep generating new frames and come back when there's a point I need to make. This is a freeze frame where you see both characters and their expressions and a line between them. You can use this to create contrast or let the audience read both faces. It's also a style that's a nod to vintage limited animation flair. The line doesn't have to be a black, boring line. You could have fun with it. Let's make it something more exciting, like a zigzag, maybe torn paper style. What do you think? Which do you prefer? Let's carry on generating the last few shots. So in this prompt, we tried to get her looking away from Alex, but ChatGPT did not like that. So we tried again, and it still did not give us what we asked for. But we're happy with the shot anyway. You'll see how we would manage to achieve what we want in the animation section. Alex snaps his fingers, and that's a wrap.
Rewrite 5. K-pop music video.
This is Demon Idol versus Demon Hunter rewrite. So this is how ChatGPT has interpreted the script. It thinks because Alex is a demon, he must have horns. And because Riley is a huntress, she must use an armor. She must wear an armor. But we don't want that. So we're going to go and reprompt and tell ChatGPT to remove the horns and turn Riley into a pop star. So it's made corrections, but we notice Riley isn't quite visible. She's not in frame. So we're going to instruct it to ensure that Alex and Riley are both in frame. They are both in frame now, which is good. Alex has lost his horns, but then Riley doesn't look like Riley. So let's go in and modify that. Riley has dark brown skin and curly hair. Okay, so this looks like Riley, but in a K-pop style. Now let's start generating the other shots. The finger pointing doesn't look quite right. Let's give it another go. Okay, that looks a bit better, but not perfect. But we're going to leave that for now. We'll try and sort that out in the animation section. Let's keep generating the other shots. What do you think of the zigzag freeze frame? So far, so good. The images have stayed consistent. And on to the last few images, and it's a wrap.
Rewrite 6. Painterly Multiverse.
For the Arcane Spider-Verse rewrite, I gave ChatGPT a few images so it matches this exact style. Then I went ahead to copy and paste the prompt. And as always, ChatGPT gives me a breakdown of what it believes I want. And yes, I say go ahead and create the establishing wide shot. It generates this image, which is okay, but I prefer a lighter background, so I give it the reference image again and stipulate that I want it to match this style. Okay, this works. So let's go ahead and start generating the other shots. An over the shoulder shot from Alex's point of view. Okay, so ChatGPT has been unable to generate the last image because it says it violates content policies. We know this image doesn't actually do that. But this is the thing, and it's a good thing. ChatGPT is designed with safety filters to catch harmful, sensitive, or restricted content. So sometimes it can get overly cautious and filter this sort of request out. So what do? You try again, repeat the prompt, or try using another prompt and see what happens. Oftentimes, it self-corrects. So we did just that, an over-the-shoulder shot from Riley's POV. Then we tried generating another OTS from Alex's POV. And we got the shot. I'm going to keep quiet now as we scroll through all the other images we created or we generated using the prompts from the script. So it's generated this image in 9:16 aspect ratio. And when we asked it to change it, it said again we had violated the policy, content policy. So we tried the prompt again, and this time we got the shot. This is an interesting one, and this is quite normal. Notice how in this image the characters have flip sides. Riley is now where Alex was and Alex where Riley was. This happens because you see AI sometimes loses track of spatial continuity where people are when generating images. So we're going to try to get them back in their right positions. So we said switch their positions with Alex to the right of the image and Riley to the left. And it did, but now they're not sitting on the edge of the wall like they were, so we tried to correct that with another prompt. But I switched them back. So we told it to switch the positions again and got our shot.
Rewrite 7. Afro-futuristic animation.
So here we have the final rewrite, the Wakanda rewrite. And we've done the usual, copied and pasted the prompts. And ChatGPT has come back with this detailed plan. And as you can see, the shots are all more detailed. And it, as usual, would ask us if we should allow it to create the establishing shot. And we said yes. And it generated this image of Alex and Riley dueling. And Alex has a pair of gloves, looks like, and he's holding a laptop or something. And we went on to generate the next prompt, and it did it in 9:16 aspect ratio, which was the wrong aspect ratio. We asked it to change the aspect ratio, and it generated it with this random warrior in the background. So we asked it to remove it, but it created this image, which is an over the shoulder from Riley's POV. It's a good shot. However, Alex has lost his gloves. So we need to be consistent. So we went back to the establishing shot and generated this over the shoulder from Riley's POV. Alex has his gloves again. So that's fine. And then we went on to generate from Alex's POV OTS. And we got this shot. We didn't quite like that because of the way she was holding the spear. So we regenerated it, comparing both of them. Well, we'll see how that animates later when we're making the movie. And then we went on to do a close-up on Alex's face. And finally, we did the last shot, which is this duel between Alex and Riley. The pictures look pretty plasticky. I'll see how that animates. But that's a wrap.